Bengals fans in Cincinnati and across the NFL, you already know the story. The single most important mission for this franchise is protecting Joe Burrow. And today, the Bengals are taking a major step toward making that happen. This is big news, and we're going to break it all down for you. But before we dive into the latest update, a quick reminder. If you love staying on top of every Bengals headline, hit that subscribe button right now, drop a like, and don't forget to ring the bell icon. The news of the day? Cincinnati is targeting veteran guard Dalton Risner. Multiple reports confirm that the Bengals are bringing him in, and this could be a huge move. Risner isn't just another free agent lineman. He's one of the best guards still available on the market. A second-round pick back in 2019, just 30 years old, and coming off a strong season where he didn't allow a single sack in the regular season. Think about that for a second. Over the past 2 years, Pro Football Focus has him credited with giving up just one sack, and that was in the playoffs. That kind of consistency in pass protection is exactly what Joe Burrow needs. Cincinnati has battled offensive line problems year after year, and this move feels like the Bengals are finally saying, enough is enough. Risner has already expressed interest in playing for the Bengals, and now it looks like the front office is making it happen. Honestly, this is one of those better late than never decisions, and it might be the key to stabilizing the protection Burrow has been waiting for. The Bengals' choice to look at Dalton Risner makes complete sense. He's younger, still performing at a high level, and hasn't shown any signs of slowing down. Sure, he's moved around a bit during his career, but honestly, who cares? What matters here is simple. Cincinnati needs protection for number 9, and Risner can give it. Now, let's be clear. This isn't a done deal just yet. The Bengals are bringing him in for a visit, and while no contract has been signed, these late camp visits usually mean one thing: serious interest. Teams don't waste this time unless they believe a player can step in right away and make an impact. Timing also plays a huge role here. The Bengals are less than 3 weeks away from opening the regular season, and to even consider a move like this right now shows how urgent the offensive line situation truly is. It's not about depth anymore. It's about finding a starter who can give Joe Burrow the confidence to stand tall in the pocket. If Risner signs, the ripple effect on the offensive line could be massive. It changes how coaches look at the guard spots. It changes how the line comes together. And most importantly, it changes how Burrow is protected on every single snap. That's why this news is so important, because the Bengals know they cannot afford another season of what if when it comes to the offensive line. Dalton Risner isn't just some random free agent. He's been on the radar of Bengals fans for a long time. His name came up last offseason, again this offseason, and it always felt like the perfect fit. Until now, though, it seemed like Cincinnati wasn't seriously pursuing him. But this move changes everything. It's confirmation that the front office sees what fans and analysts have been saying for months. The offensive line needs help, and Risner can provide it. We've all seen the shuffling during training camp. The line has been moving pieces around, trying different combinations, and while guys like Lucas Patrick bring value, he's better suited as a reliable backup who can play multiple spots, not as your main starter. Cody Ford adds depth as a swing tackle, but depth alone won't protect Joe Burrow. That's where Risner steps in. Plug him in at starting guard, and suddenly the line looks much more stable. He's not going to be an all-pro, but he doesn't have to be. What the Bengals need is consistency and competence at a starting level, and Risner delivers exactly that. Picture the offensive front if this deal gets done. Amarius Mims holding down the right side next to Risner, Orlando Brown Jr. anchoring the left side, and Ted Karras in the middle. That group doesn't just sound solid. It sounds like the kind of line Burrow has been waiting for. If Risner signs, the only real question mark left would be at left guard, and that spot belongs to a rookie the Bengals are excited about, Dylan Fairchild. He's young, he's talented, and Cincinnati believes he can develop quickly. That's a situation you can live with, because the foundation everywhere else becomes much stronger. For the first time all offseason, It feels like the Bengals are truly listening to what fans and analysts have been saying. The offensive line needed another proven starter. Yes, the move could have been made weeks or even months earlier, but better late than never fits perfectly here. If this deal gets done, it's a massive step toward protecting Joe Burrow. It adds veteran stability, eases the burden on rookies like Jalen Rivers, and lowers the risk of having to over-rely on backups like Lucas Patrick in a starting role. It also gives young linemen like Amarius Mims room to grow without the pressure of immediately playing at a Pro Bowl level. Instead of asking unproven players to carry the load, the Bengals would finally have a mix of established veterans and developing talent, the kind of balance that championship teams rely on. Bottom line, signing Dalton Risner isn't just a smart move. It's the kind of move that could change the outlook of the entire 2025 season for the Bengals. Here's why this move matters even more. If right guard is no longer a weak spot, the Bengals' entire offensive line picture changes. Last year, injuries to Alex Kappa made the position a liability. This year in camp, it hasn't looked much better. But adding Dalton Risner stabilizes the group and makes everything easier to manage. Think about it this way. One injury is a lot easier to absorb when you're starting from a position of strength. Instead of relying on someone shaky and then being forced to dip even deeper into the depth chart, you're now building with proven talent up front. A starting five of Orlando Brown Jr., Dylan Fairchild, Ted Karras, Dalton Risner, and Amarius Mims sounds like a group you can trust. And when your first backups are Cody Ford covering tackle spots and Lucas Patrick as a versatile interior option, that's not just serviceable, that's solid depth across the board. For the first time in a long time, the Bengals could line up knowing their offensive line isn't a constant concern, but rather a unit with real stability. That kind of confidence trickles down to Burrow, to the play calling, and ultimately to the success of the entire offense. On game days, teams usually suit up 8 offensive linemen. If the Bengals lock in their 5 starters with Risner included, plus Cody Ford and Lucas Patrick as the first 2 off the bench, that already gives you 7 solid options. The 8th spot can be adjusted week to week depending on health and depth, but the core would finally be in place. That's why this news is so significant. For a roster that has been searching for stability up front, Risner represents more than just another body. He represents reliability. And considering all the uncertainty surrounding Trey Hendrickson's situation right now, adding some security on the offensive line is exactly what this team needs. It feels like another better late than never scenario for Cincinnati. They've waited. They've shuffled pieces. But now the time has come to make a move that directly impacts Joe Burrow's protection and the offense's overall ceiling. The Bengals are just 20 days away from opening the regular season. Every decision from this point forward matters. Securing Dalton Risner would send a message that they're serious about protecting their quarterback, serious about fixing the line, and serious about making a real run this year. Bottom line, this is the kind of move that can shift the tone of the entire season. Bengals fans have been asking for it. The front office finally sees it, and now it's time to get it done.